3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. My name is E the Undead, also known as L.G.Y.A, and today I'm here speaking with my best friend.
Hello, I am Gideon, or you could just call me Alex Baker. And this is our podcast.
Yes, welcome to Little Graveyard Podcast. It is still a workshop name, and this is our first ever episode. Today, we will not have a curriculum of what we're going to be doing today. Usually, when we're going to be doing this, the plan is to have different subjects. Whether it be anime or, all the other stuff. But today is one of those days where we have every freedom to do whatever we want. Alex, how was your day?
It was okay.
That's
Sorry, Mom. How was yours?
It was fine. We also don't have to be in a radio voice for this. I just wanted to do a radio voice for the beginning. So we can probably drop the radio voice.
And you were the only one doing the radio voice.
I know! That's why I'm stopping right now. Anyways. Well, yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, gang. As we just told, this is going to be our first ever podcast episode. And for episode 1, we really don't have anything we're going to be talking about directly. But it's fun to talk about random things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you guys have anything to talk about in the comments about, what we could talk about, feel free to say it. But whether or not we'll actually do it, we'll never tell or actually do it. Because, I don't know, probably most likely won't be interesting. But you never know. It could.
Yeah, good.
Anyways, what should be our first subject for today?
I have no idea.
Good answer! Let's see. I guess for the first thing that we could do is talk about the list of our favorite animes.
Alright, so...
Let's start with your number 1, Alex. And I'm still doing the radio voice. And that probably will be a normal thing for this podcast.
And my tops are like, Fairy Tail and Black Clover. I can't decide which one is exactly my most favorite. And... what's yours? Okay. So good, take it.
What?
Nothing. Make my own comments.
I know. And it'd be great to hear those comments. But, anyways, I would say for my most favorite anime out there, I'd probably say Overlord. Definitely. I love the whole bone guys and everything.
Yep.
Raising Dead, necromancy, all that stuff. Overpowered magic. That is something I love, to be honest.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, think about it. You can't ever not lie that having an Overlord as the main character isn't the greatest. Having the power to summon the undead and having your greatest followers follow you as they show their overpowered abilities too. I am still doing this radio voice. Sorry, people at home. This is cringy. This will probably be my bit for a good while. Until I get used to these podcasts. AKA, I'm a loser. Anyways, that is number 1. Number 2, Reincarnated as a Slime. I love that one. Kind of the same subject when it comes to the Overlord. But in this situation, the guy started off as slime, started restarting and all that stuff. Came overpowered after meeting a dragon, and then voila, stumbled across a civilization of goblins. And who knew? He'd suddenly give them names, and then all of a sudden, they become ripped.
Yeah, that is very confusing on that part.
Well, the entire situation is having a name gives them more power, so it kind of makes sense. Like, I don't know. in an RPG, you would usually have those situations where, like, you would stumble across an enemy and be like, oh, that's a goblin, or, that's a slime. But when it comes to bosses, they usually have a name, like, I don't know, Gobo, the Unfortunate. And, well, he has the entire thing.
The robot.
Yeah. Or, like, Azog the Defiler. That's an orc, but, like, still. Having a unique name kind of, I guess, makes you level up in that situation. And, well,
true. This was more my thing. It was like, they're tiny, derpy green men to green men, but actual adult looking.
Well, in this situation, for when they reincarnate, well, not reincarnate, when they level up, they pretty much, come more human, because I guess that's the more superiority when you become more humanoid. I mean, think about it this way. Humankind thinks the superior, being is human beings. But in reality, we only think that because we're already so far in intelligence and advancements in that situation. But, if gorillas started being like, I will create fire, and then, we got the entire Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and then, Iron Age, and then all of a sudden they're making computers and, nuclear missiles, You don't think Winston would be like that one guy that would come up to you and be like, hey, let's build the nuke. You don't know who Winston is, do you?
The premise of the Planet of the Apes movies. But
well,
anyways.
Yeah, the Planet. By the way, did you know? Are you gonna be? Obviously, you should know that the new Planet of the Apes coming out. But are you gonna be watching that, or have you even watched any of them yet?
I have not even watched any of the movies.
I recommend watching them. They're actually pretty good.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. But before we went into that situation, yes, in this situation, when they level up, they become ripped human beings that are green with large teeth. And then all of a sudden, we start going to that situation where Rimuru Tempest, the main character. Maybe I should have also said the main character for Overlord too, but we're already past that, so it doesn't really matter. Pretty much the whole gist of that is Rimuru's trying to live a life where, he can play as a slime while also taking care of his tribe. And because of that, he's able to become an overlord in some ways after, getting so many people that trust him. Start with orcs, then I'm pretty sure it goes to, what was it? Ogres? Yeah, I think it was ogres. I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I think right afterwards, they also became Onis.
I thought Onis were entirely a separate thing.
Well, ogres and trolls are sometimes associated with Onis. It's just, if you go into Japanese terms, they almost look the same if you look at them. And while Onis are just pretty much red demons in some ways, depending on how you want to depict them or when you look into it. I don't know the entire thing when it comes to Japanese, mythology and all that stuff. I could have been talking that wrong. Don't hate me, comments. But in the situation, they become Onis, and it's like the next stage for ogres, I think. I might be wrong. They could be an entirely different race.
Yeah, I thought Onis were just a different name for a demon.
Well, yeah. That's usually how it goes, but Onis is mainly identified because it's more Japanese based, and you mainly think about them becoming samurais in some ways. Because an Oni is pretty much a Japanese demon,
Mm-hmm.
And they the word Oni also became very popular within an armor set too.
Yeah, the masks and all.
Yeah, and so that's mainly why they call them Onis, and well, that's what Japanese. I'm pretty sure it's Japanese or Korean. I don't know. Don't hate me, but it would be like that, and so it's identified that way. And well, when I know it's something related to that, I usually go by what they would usually be called by then. But yeah, that goes in, and then right afterwards, they go to human civilization for a small bit. And then I go straight to orcs. Or wait. I take that back. They go straight to lizardmen and then orcs. And then if we keep on going down the seasons, they get beastmen and all that stuff. I'm spoiling everything at this point because what season are you in still?
Somewhere in the first season. I don't remember what episode.
Yeah, still. And that's a big jump we're going to have to go through.
I can always watch at some point.
True, but whether or not you will, I will definitely know.
Yeah, you'll know.
But, apart from that, let's see. What other anime do I love? Let's see. I would probably have to say the recent one that I've really gotten addicted to would be Moonlit Fantasy.
Oh yeah, I have heard stuff about that.
It's actually pretty amazing for what it is. Like, it's pretty simple, but pretty cool at the same time. Pretty much the whole premise is a kid that was born from two parents that came from the fantasy world that he gets transferred to, pretty much ends up becoming a sacrifice for the goddess that rules that world. And well, because of that, they pretty much were like, since we don't want to go, we're going to sacrifice our son. And well, they ended up the gods ended up taking him away and then sending him towards the goddess that wants him. But then, plot twist, he's ugly!
In her terms, at least.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, it is drawn...
uglier than him.
True. And guess what? It is drawn in Japanese and all that stuff. As an anime, is known for. So, it could be way uglier than we think.
Yeah, true.
But, on pretense of understanding that it's anime and they're always hot in these situations, he's pretty hot.
Okay.
And there you have it. We confirmed that he is not gay. Anyways.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Also,
okay.
Just for you people to know, I'm bisexual, and that's that. Anyways. But, basically, she says, you look disgusting, and smites him with the power of God, literally. And then, I also forgot. Before that, he also met another god that was like, you know what? You're the chosen one. We're going to help you. And pretty much he helps him after the goddess smites him and blah, blah, blah. Keep on going to his stuff. Then he's like, I'm sorry. She wasn't supposed to do that to you. She's harsh. And then he's like, I'm going to give you the power of invincibility. Not really, but that's pretty much the entire thing that happened.
Yeah, just a simple overview.
Yeah, and then blah, blah, blah. Asteroid smash down. Not really. Pretty much, blah, blah, blah. That happens. He lands into the middle of a desert, and then going forward, he meets orcs.
I thought they were pigmen.
Minecraft saying for you, but it's pretty much the same thing. Orcs and pigmen, it's weird. Because orcs and, the pig aspect of that, it's mainly supposed to be like the aspect of gluttony or greed. Mainly gluttony, I'm guessing. Because, the whole thing... By the way, D&D fans, it probably doesn't apply to you, but I'm saying everything that we're talking about, it's usually in our opinion or what we think, personally. So, whoever wants to say something, we don't care.
Says otherwise, just keep your comments to yourself.
Yeah, or we like to also see your comments just to criticize them too. So, yeah. But either way, still, we don't care. Orcs, in my opinion, are an embodiment of gluttony. And when you usually think of gluttony, you usually refer to someone as a pig. So, usually it would, look piggish or boorish. In this situation, females will look like pigs. Males will look like boars. And, well, if you really think about it, yes, they're pigmen. And if you really think about it for Minecraft, yes. Mojang decided to make orcs in their game. But yeah, pretty much the same concept. But yes, he goes into a similar situation where he starts helping the orcs after they help him. But I will say in this precinct, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay. Because I guess the artist wanted to make them look more, cute-ish in the way. It's weird. But I guess when it comes to an anime, I guess it's the entire premise of making everything cute. But yeah, they help him. He eventually finds out. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, folks. Eventually, everyone will figure out that he's overpowered. But twist to that, he's at level 1. And because of that, he's super overpowered. Makes you wonder what's going to happen when he gets to level 2. But if we keep on going down the rabbit hole, he, impressed all the orcs, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, they get a knock on the door saying, the great dragon demands that you move out or we're going to destroy you. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched the first season. And, well, blah, 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 things happen. Kid's like, oh, you know what? Since you've helped me, I'm going to help you. And the whole yada, yada, yada keeps on going forward. He faced the entire army that was supposedly going to attack the orcs and kills them all. In the process, angering the dragon. Which, it's Japanese culture still in this situation. And, well, it's the generic long-bodied dragon, that flies around. And it's usually red, but in this situation, it's white and water. An illusion, I should say, too.
Green.
Huh?
I thought that was green.
That's Dragon Ball.
I meant like a teal.
Teal? Oh, are you talking about the actual anime's dragon?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, are we talking about the...
I was confused on what you're talking about as well. I thought you were talking about the anime, but no, you were talking about the actual...
Well, I was also talking about, like, the traditional dragon, which is red, and you said green, so I was like, are we talking about Dragon Ball? Because there's the Great Wish Dragon, too. I can't remember what the dragon's name is for that one. But, yeah, it's pretty much a bluish, tealish, yeah. Or whatever you said. But in the sense, it's a sort of, watercolor. And, well, blah, blah, blah. Dragon's like, oh, no! You're too powerful! And, well, I don't know why it came up. I think it's because, like, the whole gist of it is, everyone thought, well, I at least thought it was a dude at first. And then, pulls out, oh, it's actually a female. Or maybe it was a dude originally, and then it became a female. It's kind of something you don't want to figure out, actually. But, in the end of it, the dragon's like, you know what? You're pretty strong. Let's do a pact. And, well, I guess the whole gist of it was, like, the dragon's like, I'm going to be pretty much, like, halfway there or almost powerful. But then the plot twist goes like, oh my god, the main character's more overpowered than me. And, like, I think they did the whole situation where the dragon got enslaved. Yeah, it gets kinky there. But,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then...
Sorry, it's had our free out of flashbacks.
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks too by just talking about this. And, well, if I remember correctly, straight after the pact, the dragon person literally turns into a woman. I can't remember if she was naked in the very first part, but she was mainly naked in that situation. And then I think she pulled out a komodo. Or kimono, whatever you want to call it. And, well, fans that love that anime, you'll know what I'm talking about. Alex still needs to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty good, in my opinion. But if we keep on going forward, that happens. They go back. I'm pretty sure the person that he met that originally introduced him to the orc tribe and all that stuff is like, don't do it, you'll get hurt. And then, we keep on going to the point where he pretty much explains himself. Dragon Lady just explains herself too, and she's like, what? I don't believe you, but you're scary looking, and you have scales that shows that, you're the real thing. And, well, I don't know. I'm obviously summarizing the situation, so it's probably not sounding as good. But I recommend you guys watching it too if you haven't watched it already. I'm going to continue on explaining everything. Also, you know what? Maybe I should have said spoilers before this.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Well, I put that in post, so if I didn't do it already, you'll hear it then. But pretty much the whole gist of that happens is Dragon Lady ends up forcing the orc tribe into becoming main characters, servants or whatever. I think that's the whole gist of it. Everyone ends up becoming his servant in the end. And, well, whole gist of that happens, and Dragon Lady's like, you know what? Since the orcs are going to be living here, my people will live here. And then they pulled out the lizard men and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, pretty cool there. Keep on going to the future. Things happen to the point where we find out that Dragon Lady is able to make a pocket dimension, and they're able to live into this mist area. Like, no matter where they are, they'll be able to live there because, I don't know, the Dragon Lady is able to, like, form the reality itself. And so, it's pretty cool to think about because it's the whole concept behind it. But, we keep on going down the rabbit hole there. Dragon Lady finds a dwarf. An elder dwarf, to be exact. Because I guess the whole situation with it is they keep on going down the line that all the monsters that main character usually finds is like our super rare version. Which is cool. OP main character, I love it. I don't see how I'm explaining it right now. It doesn't sound as interesting, but as soon as you watch it, it is pretty interesting when you watch. But, blah, 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 that happens. Dwarf's like, oh, I was out in the middle of the desert or whatever they were at, and then all of a sudden a giant spider came out of nowhere and started attacking everything. And then the spider ends up coming through, and huge battle goes up. And it's like, oh, cool. Boss level monster comes in. And then Dragon Lady says, oh, I faced it at some point, but all I did was punch it, and then it just, I don't know, it flew away. It didn't run away, it just flew away. Which is, it shows you the kind of scale of the creature in its way, but I don't know. But, keep on going. Battle happens, and then I think a puncture wound happened to the main character to the point where he's like, I'm gonna die. But you know what? I'm going to pull out an OP attack. And, well, blah, 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 keeps on going. Spider gets taken down, but find out it's actually not dead. Comes out, attacks. Ah! And then Dragon Lady's like, no! And then, cringy thing comes out. Yes, I did that.
Just the way you did it.
Yes. But then the spider goes like, oh, Oni-chan, I can't believe you gave so much pain to me. It was so delicious. And then, it gets weirder in that situation because we get that whole, Yandere thing where she's addicted to. You know what? Dragon Lady and Spider Lady end up becoming Yanders for this kid. It's weird. I'm pretty sure he's 17 or something like that.
Wait, he's 17?
I'm pretty sure. Or he's 18. One of the two.
I was imagining she was 18 in my head.
Yeah, he's most likely 18. We're going to say he's 18 on the safe side. Well, okay, maybe not really, because this is also, like, based on old Japanese culture, too, so... Maybe. I really don't know. But the whole situation is same thing that happens with the dragon, where it's like, oh, we can make a pact! But in this situation, Dragon Lady's like, you know what? He's pretty strong. And I'm his master. Well, I'm his master. I'm his servant. And, well... yada yada yada, that goes into the play, and then we got the whole situation where she submits and is like, you know what, he'll be my master. And then we got another beautiful woman on the team, which is weird. They all become humans in the end with, like, I don't know, monster powers. Another tribe enters because she's like, you know what? These are my people, and I'm going to bring them in. And they're pretty much just arachnid people. There's obviously a name for those people, but I just don't know them right now. Keep on going down the line. I'm pretty sure after that happens, main character's like, I'm going to try to meet the humans. And then, he tries to. And then we eventually find out, as soon as he's walking up to, like, the human, like, society and all that stuff, they hate them. They really hate him. They're like, oh my god! It's a monster! And then, like... they bring out an entire, like, army, like, oh, we need to defend the kingdom, or whatever, And he's like, what did it do? I didn't do anything. And he starts running away, and then, like, he's like, I don't know what happened. Like, all I wanted to do was, say hi to them. And then, then they pulled out the card, like, oh, dude, like... you're pretty much like 7 demon lords. And then they pull it out like, you just been whipping out your cock the entire time pretty much. So you gotta conceal that. And it's like, oh, you know what? You're pretty much right. When I say cock, I mean like mana in this situation. People that actually know the show knows what I mean. People that don't know, there's your, explanation of why I said that. But, yeah, he learns how to conceal his mana and all that stuff. And apparently, it's gotten to the point where one demon lord was taken away. And it's like, wow. He's that overpowered, he can't even control it. Silence on Alex's side. Pretty much because I'm...
Sorry.
I know.
I was focused on doing something.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm also mainly the only one talking here, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, keep on going down the rabbit hole. He learns how to control it, blah, blah, blah. That's the first season. I won't spoil all the other stuff, because people are probably going to want to watch it themselves. But... people in the comments that want to listen to more of the summary, my dumb summary of this stuff, tell me more, and we'll figure it out. But those are my top 3 animes, and explained for them versus what you said before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say, folks, I will probably put in more detail than this bucko right here.
Yeah, unless it's like something like I actually enjoy, like solo leveling or something.
I mean, you can talk about that too. We pretty much have no limits of what we can talk about right now. This is the first episode.
I was just waiting for you to finish up talking.
Well, in my situation, I am done. So, I'm going to bring the mic to you, my friend. And in this situation, we can identify our favorite manga, right? Right?
Yeah.
Because you mainly know about the manga, don't you?
And, like, the, soul leveling and all the different stuff. Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much. Anyways, mic to you, buddy.
Okay, so I guess the second one would be the recent anime of the soul leveling that came out, but I'm going to be talking more of the manga end. So, whoever wants to listen to me explain that, have fun. Enjoy yourselves.
Hey, don't worry. I just had an entire rant about 3 favorite animes, so I don't think anyone cares at this point.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if they're still listening to this and they did not like it, I don't even know why you guys are still watching this. But please be watching this or reading or listening to this because, that helps knowing that you guys like this stuff.
Yeah, true.
It is also our first episode, so we're kind of rusty, too.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, and just simple stuff. I'm just going to do a simple overview, but, soul leveling is, for those that haven't read it or haven't been watching it, is basically a necromancer. Sorry, I'm trying to think through those words.
Well, yeah, you can think. You can think.
It's basically a guy who is basically the weakest of the weakest ranks as a hunter because some portals opened up and monsters just come pouring out if they're not destroyed within a week of them opening. If I remember correctly.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works because on the anime, spoilers by the way, on the anime they have it to where they're explaining how the world works and then like how dungeons start appearing and all that stuff, and then like I forget the main character's name, but pretty much it's a solo level. What?
Sung Jinwoo.
You'll know that name. I didn't hear it. Anyways, folks, yeah, main character of solo leveling is pretty much the weakest of the weak. And then, I guess, how many episodes are you in right now?
I'm in the first episode. I was waiting until the first season, stopped updating so I could just binge it all in one go.
Oh.
Since I technically know the entire premise of it.
I guess I can understand.
Until it's ready.
Yeah, I guess I can understand a bit. Pretty much, yeah, they talk about how the whole situation's like, it happened all of a sudden, now everyone's like, invested in the job because, it's a good living. And it's going to help people, like, stop all the monsters and all that stuff, especially when they, like, escape all their dungeons. And, well, then we go to an entire loophole of where people get paid for this stuff. Oops, sorry, my iPad just fell down. That's what I'm recording on. All this stuff happens, and then it's good pay because, like, no one else is willing to do it. And, well, if you are willing to do it, you get paid pretty good money because of it. And, well, with that first episode, I'm pretty sure it's, like, the whole beginning. Obviously, you probably know, like, it's probably just, like, grazing the main thing that should have happened. But pretty much, we get introduced to our main character about his first encounter. Well, I don't want to say it's first encounter, but his pretty much first major raid.
The second dungeon inside of one dungeon type thing. It's just kind of like a ritual type thing where you gotta serve this statue of God who apparently fires lasers out of his eyes, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
But what I do like about the first episode, outside of the details, was the fact that they also explained the Jeju Island.
Oh yeah.
The island thing, they actually explain it all. They actually have it introduced and show off the events a lot more clearly, because in the manga, it's just basically hey, this island is very dangerous, and you don't see any of the fights.
Well,
It happened 2 years before in, like, the timeline set.
Well, that's the thing. In this situation, the manga artist wasn't probably prioritizing that versus what probably the anime would. Because in this situation, there's a lot more action to be provided. So that probably makes sense into why it's different.
Yeah, but still, it just feels like you can actually see more of the impact than what it actually has with the characters in the manga. And in the manga, it's only just like lightly mentioned, and then it's and then just the main fight, so the main character could like show off his powers to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Though I don't think that's the main point of it, but that's just a simple overview.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole premise of solo leveling is pretty much weakest dude gets super strong. The episode spoilers. The episodes that they've shown so far is to the point where the ritual was taking place, and then after the ritual, he woke up, and then he starts experiencing the new thing that no one else experiences is when he gets the status board, and pretty much like
basically video game character stuff.
Yeah, he gets the stat board and like the quest board and all that other stuff. Gamers, you'll know about what we're talking about. Those who don't, well, you've been living underneath a rock for most of this life, or you're just an old man that just happened to stumble across this podcast.
Who is probably screaming at his tablet saying, "Hey, where is these people's voices coming from in this video?"
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure every old man's kind of aware of what's happening nowadays.
Depends on the old man.
That's true. And if they're that old to not know what technology is at this point, wow, I am surprised they're still living. No offense to anyone that is like that. We love you, and you'll probably die at some point.
So, you don't need to pay attention to us.
True. Nor do I think you want to listen to our podcast, because it is pretty cringy right now.
Yep, very cringy.
But we will love to do this, because, we're trying to get out there. And, yeah, that's probably when we lose, like, millions of views already. But, anyways, when we keep on going down the loophole, that premise keeps on going down. I think we're on, I want to say, maybe episode 8 or 9. I want to say most likely 8.
And that's the point where he kills that weird group that he joins up to get easy money quick so he can pay rent.
Actually, I take it back. We're not on episode 8. We're actually on episode 7 for the airing right now.
But I think episode 8 came out yesterday. I have not seen anything about it yet.
Episode 7 came out yesterday. But the whole premise of what happened was he experienced the things that will happen if he doesn't do the challenges. Because in this situation, he is forced to
kill.
Yeah, before he's forced to kill, he's forced to participate in leveling up and doing the daily quests. In this situation, if he doesn't do the daily quests, he won't get strong enough to do the mission he'll be teleported to do every time the deadline comes up. If he doesn't do like 100 push-ups or 100 sit-ups or 100, miles of jogging and all that stuff, he will be underprepared.
Not 100 miles. It's 100 kilometers, but I think translating it into our stuff is about 10 miles.
Well, I'm just saying in general for the people to know. Like I said, I might be wrong for most of the stuff I say. But in the situation, pretty much if he doesn't do it, he's at risk of killing himself, because the whole premise of the whole leveling up and the boards and all that stuff, they're really beneficial to the point where when he's like doing them, as soon as he does the task, he gets level up points. And
it's also help get something, but
what? You can tell me if there's something you want to talk about.
It's in reality, though, it's for him to get stronger, but it's for him to get stronger enough to essentially become, to control and become death itself.
Well, hold up. So the whole situation behind that, I was going to bring that up because me and you both know that situation, but they really don't know.
Yes, they don't either, and if...
Unless you guys are already, like, read into the manga and all that stuff. So that makes sense. But if you don't know, yes, the whole premise of it is, yeah, he's going to be pretty much the ruler of death, like Alex said.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole situation right now, if you're mainly watching the anime, if you want to read the manga, you can do that whenever you want and all that stuff. But the premise of what's happening right now in the anime is that every time he levels up, it's mainly benefiting him in the future when he goes into the level, not the level, but the missions that he'll have to be teleported to. And as of right now, the only thing he's been leveling up is strength, which, bravo to the guy, because, every noob's going to try to do that. But in the situation, it's to that point where he's starting to learn that this thing's benefiting him, and the more he does all the stuff that he needs to, the stronger he's going to get. Our first, ever encounter with him going to the missions that were provided for him went terribly because he didn't follow the not follow the rules, but he didn't follow the daily mission like he was supposed to be.
And just ended up getting stranded in a weird desert place.
And then he was suffering the entire time because he didn't level up at that point. And he just got done, getting attacked by this ritual. Pretty much the whole ritual thing was, just giant golems attacking him. It was pretty gruesome. I will say I actually enjoyed it. But that happens. He teleports back to where he was originally, which was in a hospital, which was amazing. Because, the whole situation... In this episode, you haven't seen it, obviously. It was, so good to watch because as soon as he teleported, all the nurses were trying to figure out where he went.
And he just went, right back there.
Everyone was freaking out. And it was, they actually involved, world, interaction, world consequences in that situation. Which I like seeing that when it comes to things like that. Especially in the hospital situation. They'll be trying to find him if they don't see him. Showing, a lot of reality right there. But, yeah, that happened. And, well, as he was suffering through that, he came back after so long, and then that's when he understood, I have to do all the stuff that they're wanting me to do. And, well, after that happens, the episode keeps on going down after he experienced that situation, and then he started doing the daily quests. And then, if we keep on going down the rabbit hole, he goes into a dungeon to get stronger, the entire situation is going, and he fights pretty much a wolf with a bear trap jaw or something like that. Pretty awesome.
Tail trap or jaw.
Yeah, you know about it. You're the expert of it. And well, that entire situation happens, and then he starts figuring out, I need to go even further and beyond. And all that stuff. And then, blah, blah, blah. He defeats the wolves. And then we eventually end up going to a situation where he fights more and more. And then he finds himself going into, what was it? A boss room? Was it a boss room?
Yeah, you would imagine. Yeah, it was technically a boss room.
Because, isn't it... Because didn't the dungeon disappear afterwards?
Yeah, after he killed the giant snake, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the whole thing. It was. I'm not gonna be honest. When you watch it, you're gonna love it because it was made so well. Pretty much what happened. I don't know if I should spoil it to you, but I usually spoil a lot of things with you. I know this dude in real life, so we usually talk about all this stuff all the time. But pretty much what happened is after he fought the wolves and all that stuff, he stumbled across the snake and literally the whole situation happened to where he's like, you know what, I need to get stronger, but I have to fight him, right?
So he just strangles the snake.
Yeah, he strangles the snake. But, like, after struggling so much, he literally was like, you know what? I can't pierce its scales, but I put so many points into strength, I can do this. And literally, like, as the scene's playing out, all the movements, all, like, the action scene playing out, you literally see him, like, wrap his arms over the snake's, like, throat and, like, smashes it barehanded. I was fucking blown away when I saw that.
If you think that's cool, wait until he fights against the Ant King. Ugh, I don't know why.
I know about the Ant King. I know there's gonna be cooler stuff later on. I know about that stuff, but it's mainly like the first introduction to solo leveling for me. It's always the first introductions that get me the most.
Yep.
Yeah, but in that situation, we go to that. And then I'm pretty sure right afterwards, that's when we time skip pretty much the point. We don't time skip. I should probably mention, right afterwards is when he leaves the dungeon after killing the boss. Every time when you kill the boss, the dungeons disappear. So they're cleared and all that stuff. And it's not that whole, like, you wait and it, like, respawns and stuff, which I like. It's a one-time deal. And, well, after he leaves, he pretty much goes out, and then there's an entire fight going on between a monster that's escaped its, like, domain, pretty much. And it wasn't...
Actually.
What?
The monster, it's an actual golem this time, not a weird statue.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
I was just saying, it's an actual golem this time.
Well, okay.
Like, the weird statues and the weird...
Well, the statues... So, the statues would be considered golems still. Because they're still constructs that come to life.
More like puppets, but yeah, sure.
It's still the same premise of it. Because they still have a will of their own, in a way. It's just not something they can control themselves. They just follow their orders and all that stuff. So pretty much a puppet, yes. But that's what all golems are to a point, depending on what you want to look into.
Yeah, but it was just like... The golem that he fights is like... truly has its own will. And then the one in like the weird cathedral type thing is like purely a puppet created by some 6-week angel called the Architect. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
Who created the system so he can become the god of death.
Well, in this situation, when we talk about this stuff, so golems all have purposes within a world because they're given that purpose. In this situation, those golems were given the purpose to choose the chosen one, right? Right? Or was it just one of those things where it's like, they made it, but they like saw the dude and you're like, you know what? He's perfect for this. And so that's when they give him the system?
No, that was actually so his predecessor that is trying to give him the powers chose him, but the Architect did not want him.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Well, either way, pretty much with golems, the whole thing with them is they're given a job. In this situation, the golems within the very first or second episode, or the beginning of the manga, he was attacked by them pretty much, and blah blah blah. In this situation, the golem that he fights after the giant snake battle was just normal golem that would be normally in a dungeon. Now, golems are only made within a purpose behind it. These situations, those golems were made behind, the angel's will, and they were given the command to do a certain thing for something. And the whole thing plays out that way when you guys see that or read that. But in this situation, the golem that he ends up meeting then has a purpose of following the dungeon's rules. The dungeon's goal for it. And while the entire thing... we're now going apart from solo leveling right now. I'm now going to golem knowledge right now, because I specialize that in the point. And pretty much golems follow a command. built from their creators. If we go into the Jewish culture of it, pretty much a man was like, you know what? I don't want to be bullied anymore. And so he made pretty much a clay man. And the only way for it to, like, come to life is if he puts certain ruins onto it. To where it's like, live. And, like, as it comes to life, the golem doesn't have a purpose until he writes something on a note and slides it into its mouth or in a compartment where it can go inside of it. And the golem has to follow those orders to a point. Because it's not an intelligent creature, so it doesn't know how to do it specifically unless it's told specifically. And, well, fun fact, because of the whole situation that happens, I'm not going to go into it too deeply because we're going back to solo leveling for Alex's purpose because of it. But the whole premise of it is, because they had the ruin and live, if you put like a line through a certain point, it's called die pretty much, and so you can kill the golem that way. But in the same premise, that's how most golems in like everything is made, unless like whoever made the golem for that franchise or, you know, the creators were like, you know what, we're going to make them like this. They can do whatever they want, really. I don't really care. It's fun when you have a different twist to it. But, anyways, the golems are the same. It's just every golem that's made has a different purpose behind them.
Yeah.
Anyways, but if we go into it, after the giant snake fight, sorry people, yeah, we keep on going off topic and going to other things. You'll hear that a lot during these podcasts. But as the snake thing was taken down, we start to see the development in his strength as he goes out, sees everyone struggling against, what was it, like a class 5 kind of monster kind of thing, kind of ordeal thing?
They go, so the classes are, C rank, A rank, wait, no, not C rank, S rank, A rank, B rank, C rank, D rank, and then they skip F and go to E rank.
I see. But yeah, pretty much that premise of it. And what I'm pretty sure it was like 5 or 6 people, probably more than that, like, we're struggling against this one golem, just going rampant. And then main character is like, you know what? I'm gonna help them, but I'm not gonna get the credit. So he's like behind this huge crowd of people, which I don't know why the crowd of people were like, you know what? These people are fighting like a really dangerous monster. We're gonna stand right next to them just to watch.
Because it happens a lot and they want to get taped. Just think My Hero Academia and the civilians watching the heroes fight.
Well, I know that, but I'm talking about...
I know, but it was just like, for those who don't know, it's that type of thing.
Yeah. But anyways, that happens. But the main character's like, you know what, I'll help. And so he pulls out his sword. I think, was it his sword or his dagger?
It's a broken sword that he had in his inventory and just yeeted it into its face and killed it in one shot.
Yeah. And then he just like pulled the whole card like, you know what? It was probably already a week already. And he starts walking around and people are like, whoa! Pretty much. And it was like amazed that it went down finally. But like some of the other people were like, you know what? That golem was taken down like one shot. It wasn't even close of dying or something like that. And then like we have that situation where we think he would still be there, but then it pans over to him like walking away and he's like, you know what? It was probably already a week already. And they end the episode there. But then right afterwards we keep on going down to the point where the time skip to the point where he evolves into like this muscular dude, the main like icon of the entire manga and anime and all that stuff.
I think it was like either a week or a day.
A day?
In the manga, it's like there's like you cannot tell how much time has passed until they specifically say it.
I don't think it was a day. I want to say at least maybe a few, like maybe like a week or so.
If he, yeah, because when he goes later there's going to be an episode where he has to fight this bounty hunter type guy, but he's not really. He's just paid to kill these criminals, specifically this one guy who's
yeah.
He forces himself onto women type ordeal.
Oh, so he's a rapist.
Yes.
You could have just said that.
I don't know if I needed to PG it or something.
Well, if it's too bad, I will bleep it, or of course.
Okay, so yeah, he's a rapist. Anyways, and the victims, one of his victims' father paid the guy that is supposed to keep an eye on him inside the dungeon to kill him and say, 20 or so orcs killed him because it's a weak dungeon, and the guy's D rank at most, if I remember correctly.
Alright, yeah. But yeah, okay. You keep it going in the future, so it's kind of this. People that know, you know. People that don't know, you're stuck with me right now.
Yeah, you're where he's at. So yeah, and because of that, and there's a huge fight, and after the fight, which is really cool, and I want to see it animated, but he gets to snip quick over past it. Sung Ji-woo gets the Witcher's stealth ability, and before he tests that out, he takes the criminal that the victim's father paid to get killed and just throws him in with the boss's lair and just watches him get killed that way.
Alright.
Which is more detailed in the light novel than it is in the manga.
Well, obviously, because in this situation with a light novel and a manga can show more detail within pictures versus, the novel, being the pretext of everything and, giving you more detail in with words because you don't really have pictures. But, yeah that happens.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to explain this.
You can. I'm not saying you can't.
Novel part, I know what you said, but anyways, it also goes into explain that the guy that the rapist says that he was obviously stated, not specifically saying it, but he has done it multiple times, and you get the hint that he would have done it again, because in the manga his throat was cut, so you can't hear that type of reply, but in the light novel his throat wasn't cut, so he could still speak in a sense.
Alright.
So it just, because of that little detail, it feels more satisfying with his death.
Yeah, depending on how the funders react to that one scene when they get to it, it'll either be a scene where they have to censor it to a point, or they'll avoid trying to show too much of it. Because, the whole marketing plays when it comes to showing an adaptation to something that's more gruesome probably will get dulled down or not be shown at all.
Yeah, I know. It was I just wanted to I want to at least have that kind of saying in at least that kind of conference, saying just to show how much different Sung Jin-woo was compared to before and at the beginning of the series. Outside of ability wise, you could just see that he went from having this kinder type thing to being a neutral good type guy.
Yeah.
He's he doesn't try to get into things, but if they end up involving into his stuff, he will get involved.
Yeah, I get that part. But if we keep on going forward with what I was saying for the episodes, if you want to continue on what you want to say, you can stop me. But I feel like once I continue back into the anime, everyone will be caught up with that, and then we can keep on covering the manga.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, depending on when I actually do post this, the
It's
context of
already been
everything.
made.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the event that I'm talking about is probably going to be like 2 or 3 episodes away.
Ah. That reminds me. So after the whole situation with him leveling up and he grows into like the macho man everyone wants in their life, he, you know, experiences a situation where he gets a job and well, it pays him good much, but he's only there as a pack mule pretty much. And
Yeah,
well,
because he's officially still E-ranked, and to get into further involved in this part, he gets misunderstood as for a moment as a fake ranker who
yeah,
pretends to be a lower rank but is actually a higher rank to enjoy killing, but he's not.
yeah. They address that in the episodes too, but pretty much what happens before we keep on going back and forth between the future and the past. Um, he takes the job. The whole premise of it is, as soon as he takes the job, the people that originally gave him the job were going to betray him. He catches an ally in the entire situation with a noob that has, you know, well-made armor and all that stuff, the highest rank and all that stuff. Wasn't it the highest rank? Or like
Not
high
really.
quality?
He's a D rank person who got good armor because he's from a rich family.
Yeah. And well, the entire situation plays out to where those two end up being a thing, and then we start seeing the amount of level and like how strong our new main character is. And when I say new, it's just mainly like evolved main character, more developed and more matured, pretty much from when he was, you know, the weakest character ever. And so he faces the boss by himself, single-handedly, struggling, but then like instantly getting stronger afterwards. And then like what Alex said in the very beginning of this entire conversation is that like after that happens and the people that originally set them up came back to like get all the loot that they would drop or whatever, we're gonna try to kill them. He ended up getting a mission or like a daily
That
quest
says, kill
to
them or you get killed.
yeah,
And you have a certain amount of time to do it.
and like it's kind of one of those moments where he can't like do anything besides do what the system says, because like if he doesn't, I'm pretty sure what it said for the anime, I don't know if it's anything different from the manga, is that if he does it, he'll have a heart attack, right?
Yeah, his heart will stop and die.
Yeah. And so the whole situation had to be forced on him to a point where he had to kill the people. And it's fun. I'm really glad that, like, it only made him have to kill, like, the bad guys only versus, like, having that situation where it's like, oh, you have to kill 7 people. Because, like, in the anime, it showed that he had to kill 6 people. And that was the amount of people that he were, like, betraying him and all that stuff. And versus, like, them saying you have to kill 7 people. And it's in those situations where he kills out the bad guys, but then he would have to kill his ally. Imagine that kind
of a bloodlust against the guy.
What?
Against the main character. So, like, if it's like a really strong bloodlust, it will activate and say, hey, you have to kill this person in a certain amount of time.
Well, yeah, I know that, but what I was trying to say before was, like, imagine it got real fucked up to the point where, you know, he had to kill everyone that was there. Even the guy that was even, like, on his side.
That would be very annoying.
That would be annoying. Where it's like, oh, this guy has a friend and all that stuff, but then he has to kill them because the system made him.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a pretty, like, messed up twist right there. Everyone's probably hated afterwards. But that didn't happen. Yeah. They came out scot-free. Everyone was like, how'd you guys survive that? How come all the other people didn't die? And then it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, oh, you must have had pretty good armor with that kind of look. And, like, I guess that was the whole premise of how they covered that up, because, like, the noob guy had good quality armor and all that stuff. And they're like, you know what? That must have been the reason why you survived all this. I became a countryman all of a sudden. But still.
I think I'm the weird radio voice.
Well, I think, you know what? It might be a habit to where when we begin a podcast, I'll go into a radio voice, and then once I start getting comfortable, I'll stop using the radio voice. Or maybe I'll figure out whether or not to use radio voice at all. But we'll never know. Anyways, that happened to the point where we go into the next episode to where we start talking about how the dungeon was beaten and all that stuff, and then the higher-ups were like, you know what? That's suspicious. And then we start figuring out that the main dude that was doing the whole, like, betraying thing, that hired the two at first,
is actually a brother of a S-ranker that was originally in Korea but joined America, and his personality is he will kill and does not care.
Yeah. So basically every mob character, like mob boss character. But,
his death is very satisfying, by the way.
I mean, every mob boss character like that's always satisfying.
I know, but it's like, another set of spoilers, but he tries to figure out who killed his, I forget who's the older brother.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I think the mob boss character is the older brother, and then the guy that died was the younger brother.
I thought it was flipped.
Because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly in the anime, as main character was killing them, he was like, you'll regret doing this, my big brother, and then he dies, or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care about the big brother.
Oh no, you will care. He's actually comes up later, like after.
Well, yeah, I got that.
Involved when his when the MC after he gets his necromancing abilities.
Yeah, I get that point.
We see his necromancing abilities get involved during that timeline.
Yeah,
and that might be the second season.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But
because he'll be involving like Igris, unless Igris is somehow being applied a lot earlier, because technically there's 175 chapters, and then the rest of them are an extra side story involving his son.
Yeah.
Which brings it up to 200 chapters exactly.
I see. But pretty much if we keep on looking into it, the whole situation pops up to where the mob boss gets mentioned, and then we start seeing him, try to recover, like, oh, I just killed some people, but I did it for a good cause, because if I don't kill them, I'll die. And then
the thing is, he has no reaction to it afterwards.
Well, yeah. Because, like, the whole situation that we start seeing, because right afterwards he starts drinking after he gets home and what's up. And, well, we start to see the development with his personality changing after the entire first experience of him, like, dying and all that stuff. In the first 2 episodes, and, well, we see that he's different, and he starts drinking, and then we start seeing he has a lot of resistance to some stuff.
To poison, and since apparently alcohol is considered poison, he can't get drunk.
Yeah, he can't get drunk, so he has detoxification, he has steel mind, he has fast regeneration. I want to say he has illness immunity.
And curses immunity.
Curses immunity to, yeah. So he's pretty much
that gets involved when you fight when he fights a giant ogre, like a shaman ogre.
All right. But yeah, that pops up Oh, well, you can continue on.
No, you're fine. I was just like about to say something like that's not much important information.
Yeah, I know. But in this situation, that is introduced, and then straight afterwards, we start looking into the entire situation, and he gets his next mission. And that's when he starts fighting the Cerberus.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part of the. That's one of my favorite parts is that entire dungeon. Is that entire S-rank dungeon because, well, outside of the fact that he gets stronger, it also like shows like it's a foreshadow to what is going to happen if certain events take place.
Yeah, and well, how it all plays out, he's in it, but they ended it to where I want to say he's getting chomped down on in his abdomen.
Oh yeah, that's a very cliffhanger part, but he recovers by using the recoverability that he gets whenever he
drinks poison and all that stuff. Yeah, it showed about that.
He gets it as a reward for completing his workout routines.
Oh,
that he has to do daily.
Well, that makes sense in that situation because he can abuse that so much. If
he gets injured seriously in a fight, like with the Cerberus, he can just like quickly spam it.
It's funny to think about because like you're midway through.
Stack up, though. That's the part that.
It's what?
It doesn't stack up, meaning he can't use it multiple times. It's a one-time deal.
Yeah, I know, but like think of it this way. Imagine like you're midway through like a boss battle, you're on 1 HP, but then all of a sudden you stop and your like daily quest is like do 20 jumping jacks, and then like you just stop and you just like start doing it in front of the boss.
That doesn't happen. He does that pretty much before any fight is involved.
I know that, but I'm just saying for joking purpose.
Yeah, I know. I understood. I was just like wanted to explain that just for the other people that don't know. It's like he does that before any other fight, so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but that's where the last episode currently that was aired today. Well, no, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, because I watched it yesterday.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm just going to just wait until that season's done, and then I'm just going to stream it.
Yeah, I guess it's a good plan behind it. I guess it's also, in my situation, I don't have a lot of anime to watch or anything to watch nowadays, because I've watched everything. And anything that I've actually liked. I have a cat in the background, so don't mind that. But yeah, that's Solo Leveling currently within the anime. Obviously, the manga and the novels are further ahead.
Oh yeah, they're both completed.
Yep. So.
And then there's going to be Ragnarok is going to be coming out at some point. I don't know if it's a light novel at the moment, but it's just basically his Son Jinwoo's son being involved and stuff.
But pretty much.
Hopefully they don't bore to it. That is just extremely stupid.
Yeah. But anyways, people, that is Solo Leveling for anime that I've covered. Obviously, Alex has covered down a few future things in the manga. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
There's a couple other stuff, but those are mangas type thing, and it's like another one. One of them that is my main ones I read is for any of the viewers that do know this. It's the beginning after the end, and the stuff should be coming back by May, but we will not. Spring season, sorry, not May. I don't know, but sometime by spring we should be able to get the stuff back. Because outside the hiatus it was because of the artist quitting. So, and recently there was a side story about one of the characters explaining her background and a character that is getting involved in during the war.
Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I haven't read it yet, but that is something that's on my list of millions of other manga that I'm reading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the main character is a king that has been reincarnated. He tries to have a peaceful life, heavy on tries, but certain stuff does not allow him to have a peaceful life and stuff with his family. But that is what kind of is the story is about. And for those that haven't read it, it just be prepared for the stuff, especially the ones that haven't read the light novel.
Yep, that is something to probably look into. What was the manga called again?
The Beginning After the End.
Well, if you want to read that, obviously you can figure that out online and all that stuff, but that is something that we will probably be talking about later on, or he'll be referencing later on as well.
Yeah, especially if it comes back, I will probably be talking about it.
Yeah. Anything else now?
None that I can think of at the moment.
I think I'll... How many manga? Oh, yeah, there's 2 manga, actually, now I think about that. Ugh. We went down a big rabbit hole. I think we've done...
Yes, we did.
We've covered 6 anime... Well, yeah, we covered 6 anime.
You covered 3. I covered... Mostly talked about 1, and then the other ones, people should know about them.
Yeah. I guess I'll cover 2 manga, and then I'll probably say we should probably call this episode, and then afterwards, because we have been talking for about an hour, 17 and 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is pretty good for our first episode. I will say these episodes
ranging from different time points, but that just depends on what mood we're in.
True.
On those.
I will say our episodes will come out in non-inconsistent period because, it's whenever we're available. We are high school students, so we will probably not always have good enough time. It is our last year.
I have a job, so.
That too. He has a job. But, yeah, I'll cover down 2 more things, and then we'll call it a day. Now, let's see. What do I want to talk about before we end these episodes? Well, this episode. Let's see. I guess one of the main ones that I've been catching an eye for is, I'm pretty sure it's called... I'm going to cheat and pull out the book right now. And I'm going to say it is called Solo Farming in the Tower.
Oh, yeah, that one. I have not read that yet.
It is actually pretty good for what it is.
Very goofy, I'll say that.
Yeah, it is pretty goofy. It's a comedy manga, obviously. But the whole premise of it is a kid that was like, you know what? This tower was made, but guess what? So many people are getting famous. I want to be famous. So I'm going to try to get inside the tower. And, I think he had, groceries with him. And then all of a sudden a door opens in front of him. What? Hold up. I think... Hold up. Pause. You're off speaker for some reason, which is stupid. It's been doing this all day. Technical difficulties, baby. We'll cover it in a moment. Hold up. No. This episode shouldn't be like this. Hold up. I'll hang up and then I'll call you right back. Sorry, people. I'll probably cut this out. But if I don't, well, you'll hear my embarrassment. All right, you're back. Anyways, what were you saying?
Wait. Okay, that should be better.
All right.
I have my headphones hooked up to this.
Okay. Anyways, back to what you were saying.
I was asking, what did you say? Because there was a stretch that I could not hear you. You just, like, went all gargly.
It's probably when my speaker went out. Pretty much. What was I saying before? Oh, pretty much. He got his groceries.
Where you got cut out was, you started explaining the stuff and then you just quit.
What was the last thing you heard?
Talking about the guy wanting to become famous.
Oh, he was wanting to be famous, and then all of a sudden, I think he was done, like, getting groceries and all that stuff. I think he had, like, onions, which is weird. And what is up with this? It keeps on going down to... Oh, I think I keep on opening my earbuds. That's why. I think he was getting groceries and stuff. He had onions and all that stuff. He had a few other things too. Oh, he had tomatoes, sweet potatoes. Those two things are really important within the plot. But pretty much, he was like, "I want to be famous," and then all of a sudden, like, his like a massive like portal pops up in front of him. He's like, "Ooh, this is my chance. This is my time to shine." And then he just walked straight into the portal without thinking about anything else. And then he ended up being on top of the 99th floor of the dungeon. Which I didn't mention. It was a dungeon that came out of nowhere. Instead of like going down or something like that, it goes up into the sky.
He got stuck on the highest level off the bat.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, that is just some plot armor stuff right there.
Yeah, but the whole premise of it is he teleported into a hole. A huge hole. Not like one he can like dig out of, like a huge rock hole.
Which I think took a giant bear to get him out.
Yeah, actually it did. If we...
okay, so I was right on the... Yay.
Yeah. If we don't go in the future, pretty much... we keep on going in the future. That's not something we should probably do.
No, I probably should stop my habit on that.
Yeah. Anyways, we go to the point where he's like, whoa, new place. Where's all the weak monsters? And then, you know, he finds out that, like, he's screwed because, like, he can't do anything. And, well, he's down in this hole. And, well, he has water, which is a good thing. It's amazing. And, like, all that other stuff. And he finds out that he can't do anything. So he eats what he has, and he resorts to all the stuff that he has, like, at a limited point. He rations everything. But as he's doing that, there's, like, I think it's, like, a night next after he's done eating everything, and he plants all his stuff, and he's like, you know what? I'll wait till this stuff grows. Till suddenly, like, he's starting to grow, like, sprouts and everything the next night. I could be exaggerating because, like, it's been a while since I read the beginning. You know, when you're reading manga, you don't really read the beginning. You read to, like, the end. So it makes sense. But, it sprouts, and he's like, whoa, that's amazing. And, like, I think not long afterwards, he ended up, like, getting, like, new rations from, like, Onion. and he started like investing. He kept on growing a whole bunch of the stuff that he bought, and it was tomatoes and onions, as far as I'm aware. But as he's doing all that stuff, he hears something on the top of the hole, and then he sees a rabbit couple, pretty much. We got the papa rabbit and the mama rabbit, and they're both farmers. One has an infinite water supply, and the other one, I think, has I don't know, he had something. It was a farmer's tool at some point. And while the entire premise behind it is they help him with cultivating the area and, like, I don't know, making a farm. As the entire thing plays out, he makes a farm, makes, like, delicious plants and all that stuff, which is mainly just tomatoes and onions. And as that plays out, we get to the point where the rabbit couple will, like, make a little hut, which is sad to really look into it, because, like, the guy doesn't have anything, but, like, the rabbit couple has, like, their own little house that they can live in. Well, he has to live outside, pretty much. It's funny. But premise is that happens over time. We start seeing that he gets noticed by the tower's, like, guardian, pretty much. Is the administrator, pretty much. And it's just this dragon woman thing. It's a female dragon.
A woman?
What?
So it's a woman?
Well, okay. When I say woman, it's a girl dragon.
I know. I was having my fun, and then also, like, I did not know it was a guy. It was a female.
Yeah, it was a female. It's a female dragon. I thought it was a dude at first, too, but then I was like, oh, wait, hold up. That's anime eyes right there. And then, yeah, connected that. Yeah, it's a girl. We don't really get to identify that's a dragon till, like, later on, but, you know, it's no point not telling you guys, because, like, yeah, we know. Well, I know. He really doesn't know.
No, I do not. But
things happen. A bee gets involved. I think it, like, got really weak, and then he started the main character started nurturing it, and all that stuff happens, and then the bee ends up turning into, like, a waifu bee.
Yeah, that is a very confusing point.
Yeah, like I said in the very beginning of this episode, human forms and all that stuff's disappeared, being, you know. But midway through with that plot too, baby rabbits get born.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it literally looks like Peeps, but like the bunny kind.
Like actual bunnies, not the marshmallow.
Actually, no. Like they actually look like the marshmallows.
Really?
Yeah, they kind of do. At least when they're, like, really young. They're yellow, like, marshmallow Peeps. They look like that.
Mm.
But then they grow up into, like, white hairs. There's one that grows into, like, a black hair, but it has its own. They all have, like, their magic items. Apparently, as soon as they become adults, they have magic items. One has a sickle. One has, like, a wheelbarrow. One has a hammer.
Mm.
One has an infinite water source too. And, well, I don't know, it gets pretty interesting, because, like, you get these entire, like, farmers and all that stuff, and you get the whole gist, and it's like, whoa! Farming! I won't actually do it in real life, but it's cool to read. Yeah. It kind of sucks when you really think about it in real life. I mean, there's some cool things when it comes to real life, but It's not as cool as anime or manga. But yeah, that works in. Nights keep on coming in to the point where the full moon will come down, and they keep on. They make it sound like as soon as like the full moon comes in, like I think it's blue moon. That's what they call it, and how they like represent it in like every like frame or something like that. It makes it look like they can't be in the moonlight, like it burns or something. I don't know. It's just how it's like presented. I think it might be like because there's so much dangerous stuff out, and that's why would make more sense. But every time they show it, in my opinion, it's like, the moonlight's killing me. You know, reverse vampires, pretty much. Which that makes no sense since the moonlight's also just a reflection of the sunlight. Another episode, we'll cover that too. But yeah, that goes on, and well, as the moonlight like shines down onto the crops, apparently there's a chance that like one of the fruits, or not the fruits, one of the vegetables will become like a moon version of the thing and be like super rare. And it's like stat building and all that stuff, and like I don't know. I don't think I've told you the status effects, but apparently every crop that he grows has a status effect. The cherry tomatoes will increase your XP, I think, by 1. Or something like that. I don't know. It's something like everyone wants. But it will also apparently help with skincare. Make your skin very smooth and all that stuff. And, well, I'm not going to go any further than that till I get to the point. But if we keep on going through it, the administrator keeps on taking all the stuff that he gets. But in the process, introduces him to a new system, pretty much, to where he's able to go to the farmer store, pretty much, and like get all the stuff that he wants, like materials or like seeds and all that stuff. He gets seeds and all that. He gets corn. And potatoes. But if we keep on going further, he connects with the administrator to a point, and then further into the future, we start seeing a cat get involved, and it's really weird because what?
Cat?
Yes, a cat. It's a cat. It's pretty much Puss in Boots without the boots and the hat, but with like a bag wrapped around his neck. And, well, it's a sales cat. It's a merchant cat. And, well, the entire premise of it is he's a mad salesman. And, well, he got pretty much the merchant cat. The only reason why I remember this guy's name is because it's so easy. His name's, like, Theo. Like Theodore and all that stuff, yeah. And, well, pretty much he tried selling human objects to main character, and main character's like, you need batteries for that, right? Because he tried selling him a fan and like a whole bunch of other stuff, and yeah. It's funny to really look into it because like, it has an entire backstory and you feel bad for the cat. And, it's a mini mascot that everyone will love. Versus all the other bunny characters and all that stuff. But, that happens. Main character's like, you know what? I'm gonna, blackmail this dude. Or I'm gonna convince him. I think he blackmailed him first, actually. Yeah, because he, like...
What did he blackmail him about?
Fish. I think he ate fish without, like...
the main character blackmailed the cat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the cat blackmailing the person. I'm like,
I mean, he tries.
The cat blackmailed the cat.
So, okay, I'll get to it eventually when I get there, but it's pretty good. So the fish come into play because where the water was had like a hole where fish would come out.
Mm.
And so he would be able to get fish and all that stuff, which was pretty cool too. And he would be able to eat fish. But yeah, he blackmails the cat about like, oh, you ate my food without paying. Now you're my slave. Not really. But the whole situation went to the point where he made Theo become his merchant. And he started selling his vegetables. And then that's when we started looking into all the status effects and all that stuff. And people start getting all the items on like the lowest floors. I think it was like the 20th floor. Or the lower or something like that. I don't know. And well, the vegetables become so good that everyone wants them. Even like major companies. And well,
he gets out real world.
Huh?
I said, I forgot he gets out into the real world.
Well, he gets the stuff to the real world. He just doesn't get out of a dungeon.
Mm.
As far as I'm aware, he does get out of the dungeon right now. But things happen where he gets famous and all that stuff. But due to Theo's like ranking, because he's like the lowest of the low merchant, he does not have any authority in any way, and he doesn't have, because like apparently the whole thing, since he was like low level, the farmer, the main character's name wouldn't like pop up as ownership of his vegetables.
Mm.
Which that makes no sense. I feel like ownership would be like something that would be something everyone would like see first. But if you're a better merchant and all that stuff, you can act like you provided them instead. But you know what? I'm not mad about it, so it makes sense. But his name was concealed, so no one knew where he was coming from. It was just this random cat thing. Kept on like bring out all these magical cherries and all that. Sweet cherries or whatever. Cherry tomatoes. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And, well, that becomes famous and all that stuff. But we keep on going down into the future. Things happen to the point where a giant bear starts looming over the hole, and we find out that one giant bear is like the protector of the area and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden they can main character and them connect with the bear. Bear's like, oh, I'm hungry, but also my baby's hungry. And well, the baby gets involved. We eventually get introduced to the baby. It's a glutton pretty much, just like its mother. And well, they pretty much eat everything that main character gives them. And well, we get to a point where we don't see bee waifu for a good while. And then we eventually find out that the reason why we don't see her is because she made another queen bee.
I thought she became the queen bee.
She did, but she didn't make one. Well, she did make one. And, well, usually when a queen bee makes another bee, it's usually when they die. But that wasn't the case for this. Which is weird. And, well, now we have 2 queen bees. And then, you know, that entire situation happens. And then, I'm not gonna lie, it got to the point where it started becoming my, like, very, very favorite. Well, no, you know what? I take it back. We keep on going to where Theo keeps on getting to the point where he's becoming a popular merchant and all that stuff. But as he's going in like the towns and stuff, he runs into the police, which is a fox girl.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, and well, she poses as like a wandering merchant too. That's at a beginner class, but she's actually like a police officer and all that stuff. And while she hunts down all the people that like scam people and all that stuff, we start learning about Theo to the point where we figure out how he was able to survive as long as he did. And you know how he did it?
Not really.
I know. That's why I was asked, and that's why I'm giving that little quote saying, "Do you know how he did it?" Well, how he did it was say, "I want a discount" to everyone he was buying from. Everyone. And he would literally force the people that he was buying the stuff from into giving them a discount. Got to the point where it got really low to the point where it's like cheap change. It's funny. And I loved it. But, yeah, we all see that's his superpower. The police officer sees him do that, and she's like, what? Amazed that this little cat just forced his way into convincing someone to give him a discount because he said something. And, well, yeah, we go into that loophole, and then I think we keep on going to the future, and we go to the latest chapters where we get introduced to another major species within the 99th floor, and that's Minotaurs. And well, the whole premise of that is apparently like one of the Minotaurs started like wandering into main character's area and will start eating the crops that he started making on the top surface after the mama bear helped him try to get it out and all that stuff. And well, he kept on coming back and all that stuff. And then we get the premise of main character catching the Minotaur doing it and then guilt tripping him into working for him, saying, you basically stole. And while the Minotaur has this whole moral code like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal. I'm gonna ruin my honor from doing this, and so he has to work for him and all that stuff. And then the wickedest moment happened after like the Minotaur started doing like all his work and all that stuff. Mama Bear comes back, and like instantly we get a situation where it's like two kaijus like staring each other down. Like aura was going everywhere. Death threats like through like aura was like in that moment. And it was like, whoa, bro, is this going to be a fight to the death? And then, as, like, everything's going, main character's like, you guys better stop. And, like, they were about to, like, brawl it out. Minotaur's like, I'm sorry, but I can never back down to a fight. And then, all of a sudden, Mama Bear's like, I won't, like, back down if he won't back down. Which, I don't know how they understand each other. It's weird, because the bear doesn't say anything. Nor does the baby bear either. None of the characters say anything besides the cow and the cat. And the dragon, and that's it. It's weird. But we get to the point where he's like, you better stop or I'm not feeding you guys at all. And they're like, what? And, like, they literally, like, stop right away. And they're like, no! I want to eat your delicious food. And yeah, that happens. As all it happens before this, but as main character deals with all this stuff, the main business of like the adventures find main character's product of like cherry tomatoes and like all the beneficial stats it has, and they're trying to replicate it, but they can't, and they don't know why. Because every time someone makes one, it tastes like shit. And blah, 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 blah. So they're getting to the point where they're just going to buy out all the tomatoes when they pop up. Exactly. That's what I said. Anyways, that happens. And then we go back to the present. Theo comes back. And he talks about blah, 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 all this stuff. And then he heads back out after another run. And as he's on that run, apparently... Alright, we go back to the past real quick. As he was out, like, getting all this kind of stuff, he got a farmer's hat for the main character. And that boosts his stat too. Anyways, now we go back to present. Apparently, after taking that farmer's hat, someone wants it back, so they hired, 3 wolf assassins. They literally look like Death from Puss in Boots 2. And, they were hunting down Theo. And, Theo came running back, and all that situation happened. And so, as that happens, a female Minotaur gets involved in the situation after Minotaur came and, did all that stuff. They're all named by number. I'm pretty sure the first Minotaur that pops up is called, Minotaur 3. And the female is, Minotaur 2. I don't know. I can't remember. But that happens. Minotaur 2 gets in on the action with, the extra food. Well, not the extra food, but getting the food and all that stuff. And then straight right afterwards, main character's like, you know what? You two will be Theo's bodyguards. And so we got, Theo walking around, the dungeons town for, all the, monsters and stuff. Walking around with these 2 giants. Just walking around, following him around, doing all that stuff. Just walking like menaces. I don't know what. And then we get involved with, death. Triple death from Puss in Boots, And then... blah, blah, blah. Things happen again. We go back to the main character. Main character is having his own time. He gets a haircut. Then he gets a bald patch. And then the hat holds a bald patch and all that stuff. Dragon Girl makes him food because, they get to the point where they're loving each other. Well, she's liking him. He's, thinking that she's just a flying pig. Yeah, big twist there. She makes him food, just, to be like the girl that's like, oh, I'm gonna make the guy food. And she just made an abomination. Not an abomination, an abomination. And it's just, in the situation, it got to that point where he started drinking it, but then he started, hurling it up, and it falls into the water. Where he'll get all the fish and all that stuff. At some point, the fish stopped coming, but then shrimp started coming out. And, since he accidentally threw the pot of poison into the water, he literally killed everything. And he started leveling up like crazy. And like he killed like I think like something called like a giant eel. And he leveled up like more crazy afterwards. It was funny. But they couldn't use any of the water anymore because it was poison and all that stuff. And, well, yeah. But we keep on going forward. Main character goes to the surface with Mama Bear and all that stuff. And then the Minotaur's like leader noticed that all the two Minotaurs that went out weren't coming back. And so he went back and like started charging through. And apparently the main Minotaur is like the boss of the entire floor. And while it starts stomping over, main character's like, administrator, and then administrator's like, what? And then it starts seeing it and like, oh shit! And then we get to the point where he's like, could you stop him or something? And she's like, let me try. And then instantly she's like, he's ignoring me. I can't do shit. And like, boom, 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 menacing moment. Mama Bear's trembling. And she's like bigger than him. And then straight afterwards, he literally went to a pile of like the vegetables that he had like laying down and just picked it up and started walking away. That was all he wanted. But then like afterwards, main character's like, you know what? I'm glad he just wanted to take some food. And then starts smirking like, now that he took my food, I can blackmail him. And as you can see, the whole premise of the main character is he has like a whole bunch of blackmail on everyone.
That's air quotes around blackmail, correct?
What?
And that's like air quotes around blackmail, correct?
No, he actually blackmailed them. It's not like bad blackmail. It's more like it's benefiting him, and he's not like a bad guy. Like they're literally doing it to themselves, so it makes sense. Like, let's see, Theo's. I think the whole premise of it is everyone's stealing his food. So like he's just making them do stuff that for him in return, and pretty much using them. But after done, level 90, the floor boss pretty much like leaves. The two other Minotaurs with Theo like come back. And well, Theo was smart in the situation, to where he's like, "We're gonna take the triple death characters, pretty much." And well, they bring him over, and then we start, getting to that point where it's like, "Oh, okay, they're gonna probably join main character." But then apparently, one of them like got out of their bonds after getting tied up. And, like, stole the hat off of main character's head. And then, we get this entire scene where it's like, thank you for returning that hat. And main character's like, my hat! And then, end of chapter. And yeah, that's the premise of that one. I want to go to the next one. I'm probably just going to say its name because I do love it, and it's one of my other favorite ones because it's a community one. It's like God decides to be like, you know what? I'm going to take control. Only it's not actually God. It's literally a guy playing a game. And then, like, after beating the game and becoming, like, I guess the number one player, he becomes a god. And all that stuff, which it's pretty good. But I probably won't get into it too much because it's already like I went past my dead point. It's already almost getting to 2 hours. Wait, you know what? Do you wanna try doing 2 hours? Because it's literally like 1 hour and 54 minutes. So like 6 minutes, I can probably just keep on going on. Do you think I should just do that?
I don't know.
Do you even care?
Uh,
It's just 6 minutes. That's all.
yeah, I'm fine with going to 2 hours, but
Yeah, we've been doing this for 2 hours, dude.
yeah, but I would like to eat.
Yeah, I know. But after like 6 more minutes, we'll be done. I'll wrap it up.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting to be on here for 2 hours, but I can't.
Me neither.
Yeah, I mean, it's stuff's pretty fun when we're just talking in general.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we'll improve on how the podcast works, but you know, this is our first episode, and it's going pretty well. But yeah, I can't remember the name right now, but it's an amazing manga because, like, it's an entire evolution within a civilization of lizardmen. And it's just all ruled by this one guy, and, well, he tries to help. He literally, I'm pretty sure the name that they chose for him was, like, Blue Beetle God or something. Well, I think it's just Beetle God or something like that. And it's weird, but it's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really go into super detail here because, like, one, I can't figure what the name is. Two, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it within 4 minutes. So, yeah, I don't know. We could go on to another subject for like a little bit, or we could just cut it off here. I don't know. It's up to you.
I think we could just cut it off here.
That's true. Yeah, guys, we're gonna cut it off here because I don't know. We really don't know what else we're gonna talk about for this one. Next episode, we're gonna try to do at least stick with one subject. We pretty much just talked about manga and anime for this one. That's probably going to be another premise of other things. But for other episodes, we will talk about mainly one thing more specifically, or, if anything pops up to our minds, or if the comment section has anything they want us to talk about. We might have like a point where we'll have a day we'll ask for, you guys' opinions and all that stuff. We'll look into that, but whether or not we actually do that, it's really up to us. Another thing I want to also bring up is that it won't always just be us two. It will most likely be with other guests as well. It's just me and Alex that mainly work this all out, so be prepared for other guests joining the, podcast and all that stuff. Hopefully, if we get famous enough, within our episodes, we can get the bigger guys. Just know, we can't pay them. But if we do get the bigger guys without needing to pay them, that's gonna be fucking awesome. Which I still say I'm gonna doubt. But, small possibility. I guess I should also say we are a podcast as of right now, but we are also an animation studio. At least one that's still in development. We're getting our ways into it. We're trying to make a show that we hope everyone will love. If you don't love it, I really don't care if you don't love it. It's mainly a personal project I've been in the works with since 8th grade. But we're trying to make a show called Mob. It stands for Monsters of Bounty. Might be changing at some point. Either way, if it doesn't, well, it doesn't. But still, it's called Mob. We're working on it, and well, I hope it goes well. We might be talking about it on some episodes on the podcast, but as of right now, I feel like we're going to talk about different subjects because mob is something that we're still working with. We have a plan, and well, if anything, if you guys are interested, you can probably comment down below for our next topic to talk about, and hopefully I'll be able to get the other people that are also working with us, our other friends as well, and hopefully by the time you guys see this episode, we'll be working on the next one, so you guys have something else to see, so we can at least get ourselves up there. But we're at our 2-hour mark, pretty much. So I want to say thank you guys for listening. If you are, I would like you guys to subscribe to our channel, support us in any way when those times come. Just know that we also, I mainly do animations, especially on my other channel and my TikTok, which is E the Undead. My YouTube's not the greatest. My other two TikToks aren't also the greatest, but they are mainly more decent because I put more quality in my TikToks for. But if you guys want to see those, you can go down those ones. Alex, do you want to talk about your TikToks?
Don't look at mine. Mine is just purely not any effort or anything. I was just purely bored and wanted to post stuff.
I get that. I do the exact same thing. But anyways, if you guys want to see my stuff, it's E the Undead. I repeat, E the Undead. And well, if you ever want to, figure out anything else or comment down anything down below, go on ahead. We'll look into it and we'll debate about it. But that's going to wrap up for today's episode. So if you guys enjoy, please press the like button and subscribe and click the bell down below. I really don't think you do it well because this is our first episode. But anyways, running out of time. Goodbye, guys. Say goodbye, Alex.
Bye.
All right. See you guys.